the interest in the gut microbiome and colon cancer has stemmed from the idea that bacteria are critical mediators in causation, and that is because obviously they are co-located. So the principal theory that has driven this has been this idea of drivers and passengers, i.e. there are keystone bugs or alpha bugs or bugs that have quite complex molecular signaling languages but which initiate cancer. And that when cancer forms, the mucosal microbiome or the luminal microbiome changes and it shifts to support the metabolic requirements of those cancers, and that these bacteria can be targeted either as drivers or passengers to either reduce or prevent cancer formation or to treat cancer more effectively. Now, the data on this is quite complex and it's constantly evolving. The bottom line is we still don't have yet a compelling model that explains all this and ties all the loops together. And part of the reason for that is system complexity. And every time we study the gut microbiome and cancer, we have to adjust for a number of different confounding variables and clinical heterogeneity as well as cancer heterogeneity. Many of the recent insights have demonstrated that cancer biology actually has a greater role in determining the mucosal ecology than we previously thought. We thought it was the other way around. But what we're really lacking is very, very robust longitudinal studies where we were able to study the entire evolution of cancer. So from pre-adenoma formation into adenoma and then into cancer. And obviously these studies are hard to do because ethically it's challenging and you need very, very large sample numbers. So there is a global effort to try and change this, and we're seeing increasing amounts of data come out that are beginning to unpick that complexity. And one of the most interesting things that has come out of recent data is the fact that this might not all be bacterial. So we know that bacteria are critical because, of course, all the things that are well associated with cancer risk, like diet, red meat consumption, low fiber consumption, have a microbial intermediary. But it may be that phages and viruses are as important or more important because they also are critical in shaping the microbiome, but they also might have direct oncogenic functions. And we've seen a rise in the global prevalence of HPV-associated cancers, for example. But this is completely uncharted territory. So the challenge really in colorectal cancer is tying all of these complex themes together to try and reach a unifying theory so that we can reduce the prevalence of the disease. Colon cancer is the second biggest killer of all cancers globally, and we have a really massively rising prevalence with an aging population. And this disease is affecting the most vulnerable populations, and we see that particularly in the developing world, who are adopting a globalized diet. So in Africa, for example, they're predicting an 85% rise in non-communicable diseases in the next decade or so. And we're also seeing a worrying change in the epidemiology of this disease. So in young people and millennials, their risk of rectal cancer is 4 times that of someone born in the 1960s. So there is an urgency to unpick the role of the gut microbiome in cancer etiology, and that's, in summary, the work that we're doing.